Got our guys back.
Boss, that man you picked up in Walla Yamasa is a top-notch gunsmith. We got plenty of work for him. But it turns out that he's just the apprentice of a so-called legendary gunsmith. Now, if this legendary gunsmith is all he's cracked up to be, we could really use him on our side. The apprentice gave us the whereabouts of his master. If you've got the time, go and grab him. I've added the details to your side ops list.
So yeah, remember the whole thing with Zadornov? This is kind of like that.
Why couldn't the mission have been called, like, Legendary Locksmith Part 1 or something?
Yeah.
That doesn't make it seem like it was a lie.
Yeah.
Be careful down there, boss.
So yeah, we're gonna go get the next gunsmith. And also pick up some other stuff on the way.
Eventually you'll get to, like, Zeta Gunsmith, ZZ Gunsmith, Gunsmith Zero.
I'm Gunsmith ZX!
Did you know that G Gunsmith has a gun that is a horse?
Whoa! I'll never be able to stop pointing out this fact to everyone I meet! It's been a while, though, since we recruited a lost Mother Base soldier.
This is, what, only like the second one,
This is the second guy, yeah. The different wandering Mother Base soldiers have different equipment on them, so, like, the first guy, he would just run away. Second guy, yeah, he's got, like, smoke grenades and stuff on him. Yeah, there are many different ways to prove to these soldiers that you are Big Boss. There's more than just wearing the cardboard box. One of them is to just simply get them in a CQC hold. Because they know the grip of their boss.
That's why it's such an important part of training on new Mother Base.
Spit it out. It's you, boss.
Clearly that's a holdover from 9 years ago.
It's you, boss.
It's like a fingerprint, you know?
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys out on a mission.
Nobody quite has the delicate yet strong hold of Big Boss.
But will he come back to us? Bring him home, boss.
Anyway, see ya.
Yep. But yeah, since we Fulton him, we have gotten another old photograph that we'll be able to show off to Paz later.
Roger that.
Oh, and one thing I still have to do left in Afghanistan is, you know, you can pick up those stickers from all the big bases to enable fast travel to each one. There are unlockables tied to that. Some more goofy cardboard boxes that do other things. So we'll have to get into that later.
You called that thing Sahelanthropus. Where does the name come from?
Well, several years ago, an excavation team discovered a hominid skull in the Sahel region.
Central Africa, the Southern Sahara.
Cypher gave the specimen the name Sahelanthropus, Man of Sahel. And then they covered the whole thing up.
Why?
They probably wanted to monopolize information about human evolution to have a head start in their genetic research. At least, until they had an idea of what they'd found.
It was that big of a discovery, huh?
Sahelanthropus was a gracile hominid, estimated to have lived about 7 million years ago. What's significant about it is how its skull's foramen magnum faces down. In other words, its spinal column supported its head from underneath.
It stood upright.
Right. Which would mean Sahelanthropus walked upright 3 million years before Australopithecus, making it the world's oldest human species.
Walking upright. I get it. Hence the name Sahelanthropus for your machine.
Walking upright was the decisive difference between our ancestors and other anthropoids. Our brains could get heavier once they were supported by the spinal column. That led to the use of tools and the development of complex communication through language. Only man is capable of this. My creation will be the progenitor of all bipedal weapon platforms.
And you did this for Cypher?
No, not at all. Sahelanthropus is the best proof that I never betrayed you guys.
What do you mean?
The reconstructed Sahelanthropus skull looked exactly like the skull we used as our logo 9 years ago in the Caribbean.
An army without a nation. Outside the world order.
The design was based on Pangaea, the supercontinent that existed 250 million years ago, right?
Yeah. When the world was a single landmass. That concept's at the source of our strength.
I felt the same way about Sahelanthropus. Sure, I was forced to build it under their orders, but I always wanted to put its technology back in our hands someday. That's the reason I incorporated the old insignia into Sahelanthropus' name. Don't you see? That's how much I was thinking about you guys.
Oh, I see, all right. I see someone desperate to cover his ass. You can say whatever you want after the fact. But that skull also symbolizes somebody else. Skullface.
Huey is the younger brother in A Christmas Story, just saying, come on, guys, wait up, come please,
Yeah.
guys. And then you remember that he's probably at fault for everything that happened.
Yeah.
Very, very probably.
Yeah, but there's more with Huey later on, and I really do think it's some of the best stuff story-wise in the game, just because I like what they did with his character. I just like that it differentiates him from Otacon, because
Yeah,
he is just kind of Otacon beta
They
version.
weren't particularly different in Peace Walker.
Yeah.
What if Otacon didn't have animes? Well, he'd have robots, basically.
He
He'd
would
just be robots.
Yeah, just robots, and I mean, it seems like he likes sci-fi movies, maybe, but he's not super passionate about it. I mean, he named his son after a
He did
character.
name his son Hal.
He did name his son Hal. I like that he hasn't mentioned his son once.
That's how you know he's a real piece of shit.
Otacon has already been born by this by the date of this game. He's like 3 or 4 years
none
old,
of
I
his
think.
pleading to like, come on, help me out, trust me. I would like to speak to my son. It never comes up.
Yeah.
Can I at least let my son know I'm alive? No.
Yeah.
No, it does not come to mind.
Also, something I like about this area, this map, is sometimes soldiers will just like stop, will take a break to go train at the firing range, and I like that the soldiers will actually like take a break to just do something else. And I wish you, I mean, I guess there isn't much of a chance to see them do that because they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Also, I wish Big Boss could climb this ledge, but he can't for some reason. It's weird.
Whenever you're like grabbing a cassette tape, do you ever get the sense that like a guard in there was just listening to their tunes before you stole their tunes?
Yeah. I like the idea of that. But this is only like the only instance in the entire game I can think of where like you see the soldiers doing something else. Just gotta very slowly sneak up on this man. This man's a sniper, and I need to get rid of him because snipers, they will see you.
Go get him.
It's a magnetic dog.
I do like the idea of one of them reporting back after an infiltration mission, just in tears, because they stole Michael. They're like looking over all the MIA. There's no one named Michael. No, Michael and Jermaine and Tito, the whole Jackson 5 were stolen.
Also, one of these dudes is an A+. We're finally seeing some like high rank dudes appear.
Hey.
Also, I have this tranq rifle. It's super loud. The other issue is people can pinpoint your location very easily when you snipe with very loud rifles. But if you drop a smoke grenade right in front of you while you're sniping, they can't quite figure out what's happening. Like, they know they're getting shot at, but they can't physically see you. So, it's fine.
Can't tell where it's coming from. There is a possibly, but not necessarily a related cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
But I can't tell where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, I feel it's weird that, like, okay, sure, Big Boss is really quiet now. On top of it just being like, Kiefer Sutherland is probably expensive. I can also buy that they were trying to write him more quiet due to all the bad shit that happened to him. And he's been changed or something. I feel like it's a mistake if you're going to have your main character be the quiet person now, to then introduce a completely brand new character who is also mute.
And named for such.
Yeah. Like, it just feels like if Big Boss is going to be quiet, you're going to have some other character that kind of replaces him in the dialogue or something. Like, Link is quiet, but he's got a little fairy to talk for him and shit sometimes. Or a boat.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Big Boss have a talking boat?
Well, because Huey would design it, and do you want that? Do you really want that?
Okay, that's true. That would probably be for the worse, honestly.
That boat would have depth charges that spread uranium through the sea. For no reason.
And Huey,
just for fun.
And Huey would talk about how it's an extremely good idea.
It's so good. You know, boss, there are so many species of fish that haven't even been discovered. And the best thing we can do for science is to make them all extinct before they're discovered and described.
Yeah.
So that way our percentage goes up.
And, also, I imagine once some like actual consequences happen, Huey would immediately turn around and say, Big Boss, this is all your fault for telling me to make this.
You gotta extract him.
Yeah, took all these dudes out. Now we're going to extract the quote-unquote legendary gunsmith.
That's the target.
Actually, you know what it is with the plot, what I think would fix it?
What?
If
Subject on board.
we had any idea what was going on with Skullface. Like,
Yeah.
I'm imagining, like, the TV miniseries adaptation would have scenes with Skullface back here,
Yeah.
I guess, in his Afghanistan base. And
Yeah.
you get a sense of, like, what they know and what they're doing and why.
You know what? That is a thing that I thought I had like forever ago that I never got a chance to bring up is, yeah, in previous Metal Gear games, they did have cutscenes that just had the villains talking to each
Yeah.
other and stuff. There were plenty of those cutscenes.
You would cut away to them, or you'd be, like, watching it with your directional microphone.
Yeah.
Good job, Raiden. Good boy, Raiden.
I love you, Raiden. I miss you. Also, when you call for a helicopter, Dee Dee will race you to the landing point. Isn't that cute?
It's not fair. He has twice as many legs. Distinct advantage.
Yeah, he always wins. But yeah, there are no. This game never like cuts away to a different scene, a different location where the villains are talking about things. And I think part of the reason of that is because of the cutscene direction of this game being entirely like
Right.
really close, handheld.
Simulated single take from the time you turn on your console to when you turn it off.
Yeah, and I think because of that, that's part of the reason why you just never get anybody else's point of view. You are glued to Snake's perspective.
You can now tell your dog to bark.
Boss, about the prisoner you extracted from the central base camp. It seems that he's not the legendary gunsmith either. Just another one of his apprentices. Now I'm really dying to meet this guy. We got intel on his location from the apprentice. Think you can recover him? I've added the details to your site.
Yeah, I can, but do I want to? Do I really want to?
Well, we got another photo, so it's been a while. Let's visit Paz. Remember Paz? She's in this game. Hey, you know what? Remember the man on fire, everybody? No? Oh, that's because he hasn't been in the game since episode 3 of this Let's Play. Episode 35! Where is the man on fire? Is he a character? What happened to him?
Yeah, maybe he could be talking to Skullface.
Oh,
Does he talk?
Who knows? He was only in the game so far for about an hour, and all he did was go. "Brr."
He was cool, though.
He was cool,
he
right?
looked real cool.
He was cool. Hey, everybody, remember Ishmael?
I do remember
Remember
Ishmael.
what was up with that shit, huh? Ah, who cares?
Like, a lot of the pacing is like open world stuff.
Yeah.
I get it. And I have a pretty good handle on what we're doing and generally why, you know, that's starting to come together. But I have no idea why in the greater picture, what's going on in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Why?
And it's like, it is a thing that is totally...
Are we having an effect? Are we... If we beat Cypher, what will that change?
Right.
Aside from vengeance.
Yeah. And it's totally like, all that stuff is revealed. And, you know, eventually you do know what Skullface is up to and why and all that. It's just so weird that, like, if they are gonna have it, like right now, one of the big plot threads is like this weird disease keeps coming up.
Yes, yes.
And I think that stuff is interesting whenever they hint at it's like, whoa, like a weird disease, what's this about?
Glowy lung syndrome, yes.
How can this tie into any of this stuff, let alone the greater, like, Metal Gear plot? But it just feels weird that, like, if they're gonna leave that be, like, a little thread always dangling, that they wouldn't have, like, another thing to focus on.
Also heard the boss was his mentor, and that they were involved.
Hey,
Oh, you have to throw that guy off the platform
That's
now.
why he turned his back on America.
He really has been through hell.
how
No, you have to shoot him
How-
for saying you fucked your mom.
dare you talk about my mother like that, frigid rooster? An ochre badger, you're the worst of all. Always talking behind my back.
All right, I'm gonna go meet the only girl in this game that talks now,
Yeah. Hi, Paz.
who is optional.
Hello.
Both women in this game are optional.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember Professor Galvez on his instrument during Peace Day? Woo-wee-oo. Such a funny sound for a musical instrument. He said the Soviets invented it. Everyone sure seemed impressed. Music has no borders. The professor taught me that. Where's Professor Galvez anyway? I'm sorry, Snake. My head hurts. Could you let me rest?
Pause. It's a long story, and I'll cut to the chase. He shot his hand at me. And so I shot him with a bullet.
Now that I say it out loud, it does seem like kind of overkill. Not exactly even retribution.
Zadornov didn't even have, like, an explosive rocket hand. He just shot his hand out with two of his fingers extended out like he was gonna try and poke his eyes out.
Yeah. I remember that from Gunsmith Wing.
One day we'll meet the real legendary gunsmith. One day in our mobile game, we'll finally pull the ultra rare platinum gunsmith.
Arriving shortly at LZ.
When we're done recording, can you tell me what happens if we beat Cypher? What the greater world stakes are?
If you really want to know, I can, yeah.
I mean, maybe that's sort of the point, right?
Yeah.
That, like, you're doing this huge, giant thing. Like, you are upsetting the balance of world powers. Look at what you have built.
Yeah.
Look at what you and your robot hand have wrought here, just for petty personal vengeance, and you do not care about what happens to the world. And okay, you as the character don't, but I, the player, sure fucking do. I want to know.
Yeah.
I deserve to know.
It's I could tell you.
I don't know. Wait.
Maybe wait. I promise.
The people deserve to hear me find out.
Yeah. I will say that once Skullface's grand plot is truly revealed, you're gonna go, what the fuck? It's kind of out there, and I do kind of like it, even if it's kind of dumb as shit.